General Kulkarni, let's look at a crucial question that was raised just now by the Congress MP. He claimed there is a flaw in the design of this scheme. It creates a difference within the army. This was a point that Rahul Gandhi also raised in Parliament. There's a difference between your creating within the army. Is that something that you're comfortable with? I believe a few former army chiefs, including General Naravne and others, have had question marks as well over the Agniveer scheme. Should it be reviewed in your view?
Rajdeep, all schemes, when they are introduced, have been introduced with certain terms and conditions. Yes, review, definitely, why not? It can be tweaked a little bit. 25% retention can go up to 50% retention. Why I say 50% retention? Because even if you say about there are 800 people in an infantry battalion, about 400 are appointments, about 10% retire every year, and about 100 odd Agniveers join battalion every year. So even if 50 are joining and 40, 45 are moving out, so it is, the ratio of serving is perfectly intact. So you aren't having a shortfall over there. I think the scheme is considered transformative. Look at the infantry battalion CO or any CO for that matter. He's given 4 boys and he has to select 1 or maybe 2 tomorrow if it is tweaked and accepted by the government. 2. Why not? I would say anybody for that matter earlier, and as because the training is concerned, even today, it's 10 weeks of basic training, it's 14 weeks of advanced training, and it's 7 weeks of the OGT, that is on-the-job training, and he gets attested after exactly 6 months. There's nothing wrong. Even I know there were 3 countries quoted in the parliament discussion: UK, USA, China. All of them have these kind of things. China, it was quoted that Chinese are 5 years of training and standing vis-a-vis 6 months of training. It's incorrect.
So you're saying therefore that this is not as if India is the only country doing it. There are other models, similar models that are there across the world. Colonel Shukla, do you go along with that? That there are that the Agniveer scheme is a scheme which has been put in place in other parts of the world, similar schemes. What's wrong with it if it gives people a chance to be part of the army, if only for 4 years?
Rajdeep, I'm glad you've brought up that point because this is at the end of it about hierarchy, about rank, and about how soldiers relate to each other. I would put it to you, and every military officer and Jawan will agree with me, that the basis, the fundamental structure on which army's functioning is based is that of hierarchy. There are no 2 people who are equal in the forge, in the military. Even when you're marching out as compatriots, one has an IC number that is higher than the other one, and he is the senior of the 2. So I don't think this specific issue of one soldier being preferred over the other is a problem at all. That happens in every promotion board, that happens in your commissioned, and that happens when you leave and become a pensioner as well. So I think that is not the issue over here. The issue is really, is there a problem, and does the problem get resolved by a particular solution? The problem over here is that there are too many soldiers in the army, there are too many pensioners when those soldiers retire, and some way has to be found to wean out some of the ones of the lesser preferably lesser efficient ones at the end of their service. As long as that aim is being achieved, I would say that this is a scheme that needs to be followed through to the end so that the army's manpower bill becomes sustainable. If it is not yielding results, if this commission that everyone is talking about is determines that the negatives are greater than the positives, then the scheme should be scrapped.
Okay.
But to sort of make it into a sort of quarrel between the 2 sides is not acceptable.
I think that's an important point. I just want to play out that quarrel, as Ajay called it. It was more than just a quarrel. Listen into what happened in Parliament. Take a look.
अग्निवीर शहीद हुआ, लैंडमाइन ब्लास्ट में शहीद हुआ. मैं उसे शहीद कह रहा हूं, मगर हिंदुस्तान की सरकार उसे शहीद नहीं कहती. नरेंद्र मोदी उसे शहीद नहीं कहते हैं. नरेंद्र मोदी उसे अग्निवीर कहते हैं. उस घर को पेंशन नहीं मिलेगी, उस घर को कॉम्पेंसेशन नहीं मिलेगी, शहीद का दर्जा नहीं मिलेगा, मगर अग्निवीर को जवान नहीं कहा जा सकता।
मैं नेता प्रतिपक्ष से विनम्रता पूर्वक अनुरोध करना चाहता हूं कि कृपया वह सदन को गुमराह करने की कोशिश न करें। अग्निवीर योजना के संबंध में बहुत सारे लोगों से 158 ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के साथ सीधा संवाद स्थापित हुआ है, उनके सुझाव लिए गए हैं, तब यह अग्निवीर योजना लाई गई है। बिना अग्निवीर योजना के बारे में समझे, बिना उस संबंध में कोई पूरी जानकारी हासिल किए इस तरीके से सदन को गुमराह करना, इसे कदापि उचित नहीं ठहराया जा सकता। महोदय, मैं तो आपसे ये अनुरोध करूंगा, इसे सदन की कार्रवाई से बाहर निकाला जाना।
You know, Mr. Naik, the fact is, from what I can see on the debate, from what our stories have done, we've gone to the family that Rahul Gandhi mentioned. Rahul Gandhi may well have met them a month or two ago. The truth is they've got compensation, ICICI Lombard, and then the amount that they got in June, and they are going to get more through ex gratia. I come back to it. According to the BJP, Rahul suffers from Modi phobia. Was this the right way to approach it? Could it have been done differently? You have a debate on the design of the scheme. Why get into blaming the army, saying you're not paying someone who's died in the line of duty, which is not true?
Rajiv, why are we having this kind of a civil debate here on your channel? Why did we miss this opportunity in Lok Sabha? My leader raised an important point. He's a very sensitive and empathetic person. He has visited the family of bereaved, and he has understood what the scheme is and was at that point of time. He has raised an issue on behalf of them. He is concerned about what is happening to the Indian army. He is not just to criticize what's being done by the government. Government should have had the courtesy to reply to him. Honorable Prime Minister replied for 2.5 hours the next day.
The government should have replied is another question, sir, but you cannot come on the floor of the House. You've got to have all your facts straight. Rahul Gandhi also needs to be careful when he's putting out facts in the public domain on a sensitive issue.
I'm coming to that point. When we said 1 crore rupees has been paid, yes, perhaps the design thinks of the program thinks of 1 crore. But when compared to 2.4 crores, what the regular soldier would get, this would be definitely much lesser. Why this difference between the two martyrdoms? One person gets 1 crore and another gets 2.4 crores. Is the pain suffered by this mother different from that mother? This is kind of a sensitivity which makes this question to be asked with such force.
Okay, you're saying why should the mother of an Agniveer be treated any differently to the mother of a Jawan who dies in the line of duty? A quick response from you, Sanju Verma, and then I'll get final comments from our military experts.
There are many other...
May I please? I did not heckle this man.
Nobody has heckled you. Nobody has heckled you, ma'am. Please stop using this.
I'm being heckled.
Nobody has heckled anyone in this program. Please, let's retain the dignity. Nobody has heckled you.
I just said that let me make my point. Why do
Please
you
go
always
ahead.
get so agitated?
Please go ahead.
Speak to me with respect.
No.
I don't like this. Don't disrespect your panelists.
Ma'am, on a subject like this, I'm sorry, you said Mr. Naik is heckling you. He was not. Please go ahead.
I did not say that. I just said, can I please speak? I don't want to be heckled. I made a generic statement.
Why do you have to make that statement in the first instance? Please go on.
I will not be dictated by Rajnath about what I should say or not say.
And I will not be subject to your rude behavior every day. Sorry.
Thank you. Treat me with respect.
I will not be subject on subjects like this. Yes. I come here so that the viewers are enlightened.
Now
please go ahead. Please enlighten them.
Yes, I will enlighten your viewers, and I don't need any interjection or heckling from you. Thank you so much. Now, a few key points that need to be made because I don't want data to be lost in the din of rhetoric. First and foremost, Agniveer is a voluntary scheme. Nobody is putting a gun to anyone's head saying कि आपको mandatorily army join करनी है. Second point, Agniveer is a scheme for lower than officers rank. Point number 3, whether you fall in the line of duty or not, as long as you're in service, the government has the onus of paying non-contributory insurance of 48 lakh rupees, which is not a small sum by any measure. The fourth point, be it Denmark, where they have this selective service for just 6 months, or Cyprus, where they have this selective military service for 26 months, or United States, which has now introduced short selective service for only 22 months, or China, which has introduced short selective service for 23 months, or Germany, which has introduced short selective service for 7 months. Every country has an Agniveer, albeit with a different name. The other and very important point is this now, which your audience needs to know, and I'm sure Mr. Shukla will agree to this. For the first time, the fact that there needs to be people who need to come in or drafted into the armed forces for a contractual period of just 3 or 4 or 5 years was made way back in 1989. Rajiv Gandhi was the Prime Minister. MOS Defense was Arun Singh. Then it was the Kargil Review Committee in 1998, followed by the Kargil War Commission in 1999, which said that contractual selective service to bring down not only the pension cost, but to make the army leaner, fitter and meaner needs to be there. And we need to have a special scheme. They did not call it Agnipath or Agniveer, but a recommendation to that effect was made. And lo and behold, under Sonia Gandhi's proxy government in 2005, the 6th Pay Commission recommended a scheme on the lines of Agniveer, and it was canned. So my limited point is this, that if the United States, China, Germany, Denmark, so on and so forth, have selective service commissions where the service period could be as low as 4 months, or as high as 24 months.
You made that point earlier, ma'am. You've made your point. You've made it effectively. No, you've made your point now. No, you have 30 seconds. 30 seconds more.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. My last point is this, Rajdeep. I think, there needs to come a point of inflection where we need to decide whether we are going to politicize the judiciary, the election commission, the armed forces. Unfortunately, we have traversed on that path, and it is embarrassing to say the least. I just have this to say to Rahul Gandhi, who's suffering from Modi phobia. You are the same gentleman who mocked our armed forces after the surgical strike of 2016. You are the same gentleman who made fun of the Pulwama attack, saying it was orchestrated by Narendra Modi to win the 2019 Lok Sabha elections. You are the same gentleman who mocked the Balakot strike. Your leader of opposition in the Maharashtra Assembly, Vijay Wadettiwar, said Hemant Karkare was not killed by a bullet of Lashkar-e-Toiba, but Hemant Karkare was killed by a bullet of RSS. Your former chief minister, Charanjit Singh Channi, who after the Poonch attack said ये तो ड्रामेबाजी है. The Poonch attack was called ड्रामेबाजी by a congressman called Charanjit Singh Channi, very close to Rahul Gandhi.
Let Mr. Naik, Sanju Verma, you made your point. You cross your 30 seconds and then you say you're being heckled. Please put the audio down. Mr. Naik, respond to what you're hearing, that you have ended up politicizing the army with this debate.
Let us be here in now and present. As late as February 2024, the Parliamentary Committee has recommended that the compensation for both the cases should be one and the same. That is the latest for the information of all the panelists. See, that is the point our leader was making. Let us be very clear. We are not against anything. We are a democratic country. Our leader is the leader of opposition today. He has made a point vehemently, coming out of his empathy and sensitivity. We should have the government which is graceful enough to respond to that properly.
Rahul Gandhi is a liar.
Half an hour or 1 hour and clarify what all being clarified
they will accuse
here
you
on a
tomorrow of
TV
heckling.
debate.
You have a bad habit of interrupting.
All this debate should happen, and it should have happened on the other day.
Okay. I will ask Ajay Shukla, therefore, to give a final word. The central point which, therefore, whether the family here got the compensation or not, they seem to have got it, is simply this, and I want a final response. Should there be different standards of compensation that you get if you're an Agniveer or a Jawan and you die in the line of duty?
That is something which is not going to happen, given the rank structure in every organization and the fact that from the Middle Ages, militaries have been organized on the basis of rank, and salaries have varied according to what rank you are in. So that, that's some idealistic point that can be debated when there's nothing else much to say. But there are two big questions that I will sort of leave myself with at the end of this debate. The first is whether the intention the original intention of this Agniveer scheme, which is to lower the manpower costs of the military, to lower pension costs, whether this can be realized and is being realized. That is something that we have to do for the sake of the efficiency
What's your second
of the
point?
military itself. And the second and last point, is every reform measure that the government takes or the opposition suggests now going to be opposed with the full force of ideology? Is the army's structural well-being going to count for more than narrow political point making? I will just leave you with this question. I'm sure everybody will get the answer.
General Kulkarni, do you want to see any kind of review? There's an ongoing review, I'm told, of the scheme. If there was one thing you'd change, is there a thing you'd change in this scheme?
Positively, the retention could well be increased from 25% to 50%. Otherwise, the entire scheme is absolutely transformative. It is a win-win situation. It is for the benefit of the organization. But however, I would say the Agnipath scheme, the ultimate test of this Agnipath scheme is the resettlement of that Agniveer, which will be possible because it's not difficult at all.
Okay.
Because even out of 42,000 that are taken in, even if 50% are retained, only 20,000 are told to leave the army. They will well be absorbed in the other paramilitary forces. So where is the problem? I find it is one of the win-win situation, one of the finest schemes that will make our army lean, thin, and a very, very professional army.
Okay, you've got applause from Sanju Verma, General Kulkarni. You're welcome to seek her, to treat her endorsement as a pat on the back. But either way, I think no, just a minute, ma'am. I think our debate is over. Our time is up. I believe that these are the kind of debates that should be held in a healthy manner in Parliament. They would serve the public interest through enlightenment rather than name calling. That's something which Rahul Gandhi maybe also needs to introspect, and the government also needs to be ready and open to debate on all these issues, whether it's Agniveer or NEET. That's what Parliament is, I thought, meant for.